Welcome back to the weekly series where I, your host, Oliver Edgar, will go over some film recommendations for this week in quarantine. Now, unfortunately this week quarantine has been extended for a few more weeks, so we've all got to stay inside, stay strong, we can get through this, and here are some films to hopefully help the time fly by a little bit faster. Now, I haven't really got a script for this episode, I've just got some notes in front of me. They're written in like crayon. That's the level of professionalism we have on this show. But so yeah, please excuse any ums or buts or repetitions at all. And yeah, let's just get straight into it. Like last week, I'm going to start at the most watchable and move into the weirder stuff. So first of all, we got In Time. Now, the concept for this film is amazing. It's basically it's like a sci-fi dystopia where time is a currency. Basically, you have like this almost stopwatch on your arm, and you buy like food with time, you get paid in time, all of that kind of stuff. So the idea is really good, and when you run out of time, you die, you time out. That's what they call it in the film. So yeah, amazing plots, to be honest, and the story was great. It was good fun. The only problem, I feel they tried to make this a little too political. I felt they just tried to cram and rush all of these political ideas and themes into this film when it would have worked so much better as just a dumb, fun science fiction action film starring Justin Timberlake and Amanda Seyfried, who were both fine in this film. But yeah, nothing special, but if you're looking for a sci-fi action film, don't look much further than this. Next, we have Godzilla. Now, we all know what Godzilla is, big radioactive lizard. This film is so underrated to me, like genuinely, like the visuals, and not just the CGI, the actual cinematography itself is fantastic in this film. Absolutely incredible, it's kind of jaw-dropping, it's epic in a way. The sound design is another massive plus. I mean, the creature calls, I don't really know what to call them, they're just fantastic. I don't know how they went about creating these. I love how they barely showed Godzilla as well. They kind of kept it ominous and ambiguous as well. I loved that. A lot of people had an issue with that in the film, but I feel like it works really well. The only negatives to this film is that the characters are so boring. They are awful. They are absolutely horrendous. Every character except Bryan Cranston's character has no personality whatsoever. They're just so dull, and I hate that. But looking past the characters and focusing on what the film is, which is an epic monster film, it works excellent. Now, next up we got American Animals, which you probably haven't heard of before, but it is an amazing film. It's basically about these four guys who just decide to rob like this museum or like this library like with this like really expensive book because they're worried about not doing anything in their life. And you know, I feel like as much as they take the concept to the extreme, I'm pretty sure all of us can relate to wanting to accomplish something. The performances in this film were amazing. Evan Peters is in it, and like the guy called Barry Keogh, I think that's how you say his name. They're all great. The documentary side of it worked really well for me. I know that didn't really work for a lot of people, but I felt it was really engaging, and I loved the story. Just a great and original heist film, which I don't feel we get enough of anymore. Next, we have this film called Synecdoche, New York. Now, this film was something else. This was one of the most emotionally impactful films that I think I've ever seen, to be absolutely honest. I just kind of sat there in silence, staring at my wall for about 45 minutes after I finished this film. The themes are so adult and heavy. It's so depressing, but it's comforting in a way as well. Charlie Kaufman directed this, and he is an incredible filmmaker. He made films like Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind and Being John Malkovich. This film hit me so personally with its themes of death and worthlessness and all of these heavy themes I've never really seen expressed like this. I don't want to say too much about the plot because I don't want you to take it in a certain way. This film is for you to take in and think about in your own way, and yeah, it's absolutely incredible. Really do check this one out, but it's not going to make you happy, I'll tell you that. After this, to cheer myself up, I watched Monty Python The Holy Grail. This film is obviously hilarious. It's about King Arthur and his quest to find the Holy Grail after God himself asks him to do so. This film is the biggest piss take ever. This film does not give a single shit. It's outrageous. It is the best medieval movie of all time. I cannot express how funny this film is. I mean, like, they're not even, like, on horses. It's amazing. They just don't give a shit. It's kind of slapped together, and it's, you know, it's not really, the pacing is just kind of really fast, but I wouldn't want it any other way. I would not change this film for the world. It is amazing. The cast is great. I don't know if I've already said this because I'm just kind of rambling about this film now, but really do, if you keep on putting off watching this film, stop, watch it, have a great time, and then regret that you didn't watch it sooner, and that's the end of it. The final two films this week are both by the same director. His name is Yorgos Lanthimos. First of all, we have The Favourite, which is about Queen Elizabeth and the race to almost be her best friend. That's how I would put it. Everyone in this film is great, especially Olivia Colman, who plays Queen Elizabeth. She's absolutely hilarious, and there's just this air of instability as well about her, which I've found to be really amusing. The main competition here is between Emma Stone's character and Rachel Weisz's character. Now, I love Rachel Weisz, so I was obviously rooting for her, but your allegiance kind of switches between the two, which I love. I love it didn't just portray one as the protagonist and one as the antagonist. You kind of go back and forth, and I thought that worked excellently. This film is shot beautifully. The production design is incredible. The costumes, all fantastic. Everything about this film works. But it didn't really hit me on a personal level like his other film, The Lobster, did. Now, The Lobster is a film about loneliness. It's about relationships in the future and how, basically, if you're single, you almost get hunted down. It's almost a crime to be single. Now, we have this main character played by Colin Farrell, who just wants a human connection. But in this world where everything is so forced, it's really hard to come by. And that's when Rachel Weisz's character comes in. Seeing this romance in this period where romance is so manufactured was wonderful. This is one of my favourite romantic films I've ever seen in my life, if you call it that. I love the look of this film. It's so cold externally. My eyes were fixed to the screen for the entire runtime. I'm not going to say any more. Just please watch this film. It's absolutely incredible. Rachel Weisz, Colin Farrell are both fantastic. John C. Reilly's in this film, and he's great, and he's not in a stupid fucking Will Ferrell movie either. Oh my god. And I've just angered myself, but anyway, really do check out The Lobster. It is wonderful, wonderful film. Anyway, that's it for this week. There are 7 more films. I really hope you enjoyed this week's episode, and hopefully I'll see you back here next week. Thanks a lot, guys. See you later.